Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when people prefer information that supports their beliefs. They ignore or dismiss information that contradicts their views. This makes their beliefs stronger and harder to change, leading to narrow-mindedness and poor decision-making. Anchoring bias. Anchoring bias happens when people rely too much on the first piece of information they receive. This initial information influences their future decisions and judgments, even if it is irrelevant or incorrect. It often leads to biased or irrational choices. Availability heuristic. The availability heuristic is a mental shortcut where people judge the likelihood of events based on how easily they can recall examples. If something comes to mind quickly, they think it is more common or likely. This can distort their perception of reality and lead to errors in judgment. Hindsight bias. Hindsight bias is when people believe they predicted an event after it has already happened. They think they knew the outcome all along, even though they did not. This bias gives a false sense of certainty and affects how people learn from past experiences. Self-serving bias. Self-serving bias is when people attribute their successes to their own actions and blame failures on external factors. This bias helps protect their self-esteem, but prevents them from learning from their mistakes and understanding their true abilities. The Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect is when people with low ability overestimate their skills while experts underestimate theirs. This bias leads to overconfidence among beginners and self-doubt among skilled individuals, affecting learning and performance. Fundamental attribution error. Fundamental attribution error is when people overemphasize personal traits and ignore situational factors when judging others' behavior. They believe others act a certain way because of who they are, not because of the situation they are in. This leads to misunderstandings and unfair judgments. The halo effect. The halo effect is when a positive impression of a person influences judgments about their specific traits. If someone is likable or attractive, people assume they are also good at other things, even without evidence. This bias leads to favoritism and inaccurate evaluations. Negativity bias. Negativity bias is the tendency to focus more on negative events than positive ones. Negative experiences have a stronger impact on people's thoughts and feelings, making them remember and dwell on them more. This can lead to a pessimistic outlook and increased stress. The bandwagon effect. The bandwagon effect is when people adopt beliefs or behaviors because others are doing so. They follow the crowd without considering if it is the right choice for them. This bias leads to conformity and poor decision-making as people prioritize popularity over their own judgment.